Hello, everybody, and welcome to a special episode of our Brace for Impact podcast. Here, joining us, of course, is the wonderful Yoshiloo from Starfish. Wow.
Hi.
Hello, hello. Of course,
How are you
joining me,
guys?
we're good. Well, I'm good. I'm not going to speak for Benny. He hasn't spoken yet, but he is on the far side of the far side of the podcast over there, and he's dealing with the trauma of me making jokes about him before the start of the podcast.
Hmm.
Or just me being old. I had
Yeah.
an old moment right before we went live. So,
Always
Yeah.
fun.
all good, all good. So, um, why don't we start? I gotta say, Yoshi, it was great to watch you in the scene. Impact 3 obviously just kind of wrapped up the regular season. You had your team Starfish, very fun team to watch, actually.
Mhm.
Thank
I have
you.
to say. So let's start there, and just wanted to ask, kind of like, how, what were your thoughts on competing in the season?
Thoughts on competing in the season? It was super fun. And honestly, it was completely unexpected. It was not something I planned for at all because I'm in school right now. So I was like fully ready to just like get my school finished and just like focus on that. And then an opportunity came around to play and it was super fun and super competitive. And I think it was kind of like a taste of what competition could be like, and it's like a drug, like, you want more.
Hear
Yeah.
that a lot.
Oh yeah.
So is that
Yeah.
kind of how the formation of Starfish came? You just kind of saw the qualifier coming, and all five of you were like, "Yeah, let's have some fun. Let's play. Why not? Let's see what happens."
Yeah. It was like the second, remember the second week, the second
Yeah.
qualifiers, and it was like 2 or 3 days, I don't remember, but for the qualifiers, and I just get a message from one of the members being like, "Hey, what are you doing? Like, are you still playing CS?" And I'm like, "No." And they were like, "Oh," and then it kind of ended up being like, "Well, do you wanna play?" And I was like, "Okay, sure." Like, and we ended up forming a team. I was like the 5th, and we were like, "Maybe we should practice before, like, the qualifiers." And then we played, and it ended up working out, so yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. So, was this your first ever competition in CS:GO?
This was my first, like, impact competition, but,
Okay.
like, I was on, like, another team prior to Starfish. But it was kind of like an open team, so
Mm.
we, like, did some cash cups and stuff, but we never, like, competed in Impact or anything, and that was kind of my first time ever playing competitive CS on top of CS in general, so I kinda needed, like, that introduction into it, and then it led up to Starfish.
Yeah. Have you been playing competitively for long then, or is it just kind of very recently you really started getting into the competitive side?
It was really recent. I've Here's the thing, I've always loved competing. Like,
Yeah.
I swam in college. I grew up, like, competing my whole life, but, I played Valorant before I played CS:GO. The
Oh.
forbidden word,
No,
Valorant.
it's well, it is a banned word in Benny's Twitter, so I'm not kidding. It
Yeah.
is so funny to bug him with those words. You find random buzzwords that he has banned or like he has muted, and you can just you can tweet whatever and add him and everything, and he'll not see it
You'll
because
never
there's a
see
word
it.
because it's a muted word, so the tweet just gets muted. It gets thrown away.
He's like, "I don't need this negativity in my
I put a
life."
I
grocery
know
list
why.
together,
I
and I
was
put
look.
Valorant at the end, and he never knew.
All I know is, like, I'm getting this hate, and I was about to compare Yoshiloo to, like, the goats who came from Valorant, like,
Came back, yeah.
yeah, Zaz, Giuliano. That would just put me down. All right,
They're
whatever.
absolutely
No,
amazing, yeah.
yeah.
Um
So I gotta say, what, looking back on the season, right? What do you think went well for you and the team? I know, obviously, maybe the expectation wasn't levied that, like, Dallas was going to be possible, or that, playoffs or whatnot. But, like, in general, looking back to your first season, what did you take from it that you thought went very well?
Oh, I think just learning how to play as a team and kind of, I think the thing for me at least I took out of it was knowing what I want out of myself as a player, which I don't think I knew prior to competing. I didn't know, like, who I was as a player, what I wanted, my strengths and weaknesses, and I think I came out of the season being like, it's clear that I have these things, and then, like, these things I want to work on, these things that I could become better at, um I think that was where I really learned how to grow as a player. But I think that was the best thing I took out of it. And as a team, we honestly just came out with really good vibes. Like we had really good vibes. We were not toxic or anything. It was no matter what, I feel like we got through it, through win or loss. So
Yeah, I mean, we got to see a lot of you on the B stream, and you had a lot of people supporting you. So it's good to see. It's good to hear that there was a lot of just the overall camaraderie around the whole kind of idea of being a player on the Starfish or cheering for Starfish was
yeah.
a lot of fun. I mean, we had a lot of fun with the chat spams. I know that was
Yeah.
the greatest matchup of all time was whenever Team Factor Ruby and Starfish went up against each
Yeah.
other, just because it was always like the tractors or the star or the fish.
Yeah, the first matchup was great because I think you turned on slow mode and I took it off and
Yeah,
then
you
I
were. We did not know what we were doing on the first time around, just
no, we
because
didn't.
we
It was
didn't
just
understand
pure
what we were
spam.
doing.
Yeah. My coworker watched the game sometimes and he was like, "Yeah, I tried to chat to you, but it was
Too much.
impossible because it was just nothing but spam." Yeah, it was like, but no, looking back, this being the first kind of season you competed in Impact, let me get your thoughts on the whole circuit. Do you think what do you think they're doing right? But then also, what do you think that really could be improved going into season 4?
The circuit, like the
Impact.
A and B
Well, from the
teams.
ESL side, like just the tournament in general, and what do you think ESL could do better? But also, what do you think that they have provided through Impact that is a bonus that you think is really benefiting the scene?
I think that what's really benefiting the scene is that they're giving like people a chance to basically play for free and to like show themselves that I know like I wouldn't have known probably half these people if it wasn't for the impact scene. So just the exposure in general is really good and giving like girls a place to come together and meet each other and play against each other. I think that's awesome. In terms of I guess like the circuit, things that could be improved on, I guess, is possibly having more more tournaments, basically, not just ESL Impact itself, but just having more chances to compete besides just cash cups. I think that would be really cool to see. So it's not like twice a year, but it's like it's kind of like going nonstop.
I think
100%.
that's something we've echoed on the podcast before, Parks. Is that 3 tournaments is nice, but it's like you need kind of
Broken records across the board here.
Yeah,
yeah, you need a little
We all want
variety.
to watch more CS, a lot more women's CS as well, and that's one thing that
exactly.
we kind of get to miss out on because of the climate of Counter Strike, the climate of the world, and the
Yeah.
the whole shebang behind that. You talk about the future of kind of ESL Impact and everything. That we didn't really say what the future of Starfish was. I know you said it was kind of a last minute thing put together, but is there plans to try and again go in for season 4? Is that kind of just up in the air because the five of you don't know where you're going to be in a few months? Like, what give us a little inside scoop here on what's happening with Starfish.
I think what you said about it being kind of up in the air because since we came together so like randomly, it was never like extremely structured like this is like a long term we'll be with each other in 5 years kind of thing.
Yeah,
So I definitely do think that there are girls on the team that possibly still want to compete or are competing. Um we're just not fully sure if it's going to be together again.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Just wait until that second qualifier rolls around again. Hey,
And then we're like 2 days
just
before, we're like, hey,
Yep,
you guys want
so
to
yep.
play?
it's like drunk texting your ex. Just like, hey, you up?
You always go back to it.
You always come
It
back.
is never like drug testing your head. No, no, no.
Hey, you
Um,
up? You want to play some CS?
I
2
wanna,
a.m.
Yeah, 2 a.m.
yeah,
Nothing good happens after 2 a.m., guys.
no,
No.
no.
I'm
That's when the
glad.
drunk programs start, and those are
Uh,
usually the best times. Those.
100%.
Um, I want to talk about actually something really that's like of an interest to me, especially because there's other games I see you really enjoy as well. I know you stream them, like Call of Duty is one, particularly, right? You said you came from Valorant as well. So, um, do you find it hard, or did you find it hard in season 3? when you're competing in Counter Strike and you want to obviously do your best, but there's potentially other games you want to play at the same time, and you've got the itch to. Did you ever get the itch to play them? You're
Oh
like, I
yeah.
really, really, really want to play it. What's it like trying to fight that urge and competitively during the season? Because you have to practice, and then obviously the games. How difficult
It's
did you find that?
it's like a rash. It's like
Oh.
like, it's just I well, I guess it depends on your personality, but I like to switch between games a lot, but I knew that for my own play style and stuff, I needed to stay in CS in order to see the most improvement and results within a short amount of time. And it was really hard because there's so many times I wanted to play like Apex or Overwatch, Call of Duty, even Valorant, which it's hard to play when you're playing CS. So it was you guys are so disappointed.
No,
I
actually,
I
it's like
have a
that's
lot of
like the worst
plans.
game when you want to improve at Valorant. Like CS is the worst game you could play for that. And then
Yeah,
when you want to improve at CS, like Valorant, it's like the worst game you could play for that.
exactly,
we
exactly.
we don't hate the Valorant as a community or
I
as a
mean,
game.
okay, yeah, all right, cool.
We view CS as the better alternative to
Yes.
everybody who plays Valorant. So like it's a bit of a superiority
I
complex, I guess.
Yes,
Parks
yes.
had me in the first half of that statement though. He's like, we don't hate Valorant. I was like, or the Valorant community. I was like, okay, you're right. Yeah, I don't hate the Valorant community. You're right. You're right.
It's-
It's
CS,
it's like a loyalty,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
I completely understand why people love CS, like are die hard for CS, because it's the more I play it, the more I'm like, wow, this game is so intricate. Like
Yeah. Have you been watching any
it's
of the
very deep.
major? Have you been watching?
I I honestly haven't because
Oh.
I've just completely detached myself recently from CS. So it was a much needed like a break from it, I guess, after the impact season.
Yeah. No, I can 100% imagine it, but like honestly, I don't know why every single time it comes around, like everybody's so surprised at how good the majors are. Like it just
Yeah.
seems like there's always even people who've been around for a decade watching this. They're always like, man, the majors. It's always something about a major, and like even just today with Apex and Liquid. Oh my goodness. Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm. I watched it at work. My coworkers are looking at me like, "Why are you watching this?" I'm like, "Man, you don't understand. It's one of those things."
It
I totally
is.
get the switching the games though, because like you're gonna get tired of eventually. So at least you have kind of a healthy thing of going between a bunch of different games. But I'm not so
Yeah.
healthy.
It's like
Is
addictive.
Yeah.
real quick, is CS your favorite game?
Ooh.
It's
CS
okay
is
to
my
say no.
no, CS is my favorite team game. Okay,
Okay.
I'll say that. Like competitive, if I'm going to stick to one game to compete for the rest of my life, it would be CS. Yes.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
I wonder because like some people like I don't know, like some people just play CS religiously. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
that's right. Like I came CS is not my favorite game. I've said that before, right? And it's like that's kind of where the urge to play other games spawns from because like Unreal Tournament is my favorite game.
Yeah.
So it's like I get the urge to play it because it's like, oh my god, I miss playing it. You know what I mean? But then and then it just like other games wind up spawning off of that I play. So that's what I was wondering. Like, is there a game that you like even a single player game that you like that's more than the multiplayer CS that like and that's where that urge to play other games come from? Or is it just something that you never really feel like you can bog yourself down in just one single game?
I think it's the what you said, like the second thing of just not feeling like I could not even fully commit. It's just spending like many hours on one game nonstop. It just takes a lot out of you, I feel like, and you have to have like a certain kind of dedication to it and love for it, and it it's
It's not you,
it's
it's
a
me.
lot. Yes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
basically.
It's not you, it's me. I totally get that. I'm actually, you mentioned Unreal Tournament there. I'm a total history buff in this sense that my first game was like a historical reenactment, like a simulator.
Okay.
It was a mod that turned into a DLC for the game. So Mountain Blade Warband, which is a big
Oh
like,
yeah.
and then they had the Napoleonic Wars DLC, and so a bunch of people put together like line battles and stuff. So you do like Napoleonic era, you'd line up and you'd shoot at each other for hours on end. That's where I got my start into towards community stuff. But I'm
Yeah.
I'm 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 glad that there's a lot of options out there. Speaking of options, CS2 has been announced and it's been out for a while now. We initially made these questions around the time that CS2 was like first, like the big buzzword, and like people are getting beta access and everything. Have you had a chance to see any of that? Have you got any thoughts on that yet? Just as a person who kind of jumps between games, does it look or feel like a different game?
It definitely looks different. I've played it myself, so I can't say that it feels different
Mm.
fully. Based off of what I've seen, I think I just started in CS, so I'm myself like I'm trying to get used to the original CS. So like
Yeah.
seeing this change is like, oh man, like I have to learn this now. Like I'm just trying to learn the first one. Like, but I mean the graphics are better. Like, I'm excited for some of like the new utility, which I'm excited for like different metas
Yeah.
basically from it. Like I said, I think I'm still trying to get used to the first one. So seeing all this change is kind of like I'm like kind of neutral on it. I don't really know if I enjoy it or not.
But you'll come back, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
any CS player's reaction. But you'll come back, right? Yeah, of course.
Do you have anything on your
Always.
CS2 wish list though? Like, is there something that you haven't seen yet in CS2 that you hope they change?
Hope they change. I really
AKA,
don't. I don't like the sound of the AK. Like,
Mm.
it
okay.
sounds like I don't know why. That was just one thing about the new CS2. I just don't like the sound of the AK. It sounds like a Nerf shooter, like a Nerf gun.
Oh,
I don't like it. I like the original one.
I think Parks and I are in the camp of we hope that it's like the Go TVs can have delays built into
oh.
them, so we don't have to use playcasts.
There are so many like little
Mm.
things. There's so many little things, and I
Yeah.
know Valorant struggles with this as well on their observing side. There's just like they've
Yeah.
yet to do so many things that CS already has built into it, and that people have
Oh,
been saying for
100%.
years, like, "Hey, when are we getting demo viewers? When are we getting like da 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 da?" And they kind of list things off. And I'm sitting here like, man, I just hope they don't screw with my Go TVs because ESEA
Yep.
started screwing with our Go TVs after years of not doing anything because they finally decided we want to change delays, and it absolutely has ruined everybody's viewing experience with casts recently, and it is absolutely hilarious to hear all the complaints from just the casters because we know what's happening,
Yeah.
and then the
Yeah.
people that kind of filters down. People are like, man, they missed a lot of kills that round. Well, yeah, we're
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
now we're
Yeah.
doubling up as observers now, so we're not
Auto
canceling everything.
director was never that bad in the first. Auto director wasn't the problem. Now it is the
Dude.
problem, obviously. But anyway, look, our issues aside, I did want to ask. I did want to go back to something that you mentioned at the very beginning of the interview, and that's that season 3 you were kind of focused on school, and then you did the competition as well. First off, super easy question: what year of school are you in?
So I am in my second year, and
Oh
then
wow.
I
Okay.
plan on transferring basically to a 4 year to complete
Ooh.
like everything. So that's kind of why I've been really focused on it because this time in my life dictates where I go in the
Oh, okay.
next like 2
Wow.
years. So like I've been putting a lot of
So,
effort.
what are your thoughts on then, and how did you find it in balancing like schoolwork with competing? Because there's some people who they seem to do it pretty well. There's others, it's obviously a big burden on them, and they say, this is very difficult. There's other people who leave school or they take off a year in order to compete. Like, what are your thoughts on balancing the two, and how did you deal with it for season 3?
I think the biggest thing is just time management, like finding a schedule. Like for me to be able to balance like CS and school, I have to be extremely organized with my schedule. And like even being simple, like having like a simple little planner and just writing, making sure like I'm on top of everything was how I managed to balance CS and school. So I would just say time management is the biggest thing.
And you found that easy though, like you had your two camps of yes, I need time for this, I need time for this, and you felt like you were able to kind of handle that.
Yeah, especially because like the impact games were on the same day,
Mm-hmm.
basically. Same day, same time. I wasn't expecting like something like
Crazy.
one day and then
Yeah.
and then the next week it's completely different. So I like already knew that was consistent and then obviously my class schedule is consistent and the work is consistent. So just as long as I was maintaining that consistency, then it was easy. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, lovely stuff. What about Oh, blimey! I've just had a brain fart, Parks.
Uh-oh.
Parks, I'm having a senior moment on your podcast, bro.
Yeah, it's my podcast now.
Yeah,
Let's
right.
go.
It's
Totally
about
taking
to be
over.
because I totally am about to forget I'm even on the podcast.
Yeah.
Me
Senior moment to
too.
the
Me
extreme.
too.
Is there? Let me ask you, is there another game? Obviously, you said CS is your favorite team game and you love competing. Is there another game that you would compete in if you had the opportunity, whether it was in a women's league or just at an amateur level, like in pickup lands or tournaments?
I honestly would love to try like a battle royale, like
Ooh.
competing like Call of
What
Duty or something like
style? Okay, all
Warzone.
right,
Yeah,
gotcha.
because they just came out with ranked, so it was very recent, like within the past week, and I would love to see if that's something.
What about
Um,
Apex?
Oh god.
I like Apex. I just it's
Uh,
it's not my favorite. I
I
don't
have
think I
I
yeah.
was gonna say we were gonna get the Viscos and Yoshiloo duo going here.
Oh my
'Cause
goodness.
Viscos is another CS player who went over to Apex. She's competing in Apex now.
Oh, okay.
So, but I was like, there you go. Look at this. All former CS players dominate Apex scene. There you go. That's the headline. No, interesting. So, you think do you think you're going to dabble your hand in that soon, or is it just there's not really any opportunities in Warzone?
Just I think I don't know if I have the passion to grind it. I think right now,
Okay.
like I have one game in mind that I would like to grind, and it's CS. Like fully invest myself into, and
Right.
I don't want to commit to compete to something if I don't have the motivation to grind for it. So
Good
probably
mindset.
not Warzone anytime soon. Yeah,
Very good
only
mindset.
casually.
Yeah, 100%. I had a now I'm having a senior moment. I had a question. I forgot it. So give me a
Well,
second.
I do have a question at the very end. For the very end, I'll say it for
Yeah.
the very end.
Okay.
Oh,
Go ahead.
I had a question. Oh, I had a question. Then when you said something about Apex, and I got mad because Titanfall died for Apex. I'm still upset about that.
Are you still
Years
upset
later,
about Liquid? Is that what it
I'm not
is?
upset about Liquid. Liquid did to themselves. They. I'm not even gonna react to that, man. I shouldn't react. No.
Let me get your thoughts. Let me get your thoughts on Dallas. First off, you're not
That's
going.
what
Are
it
you going
was.
to
Thank you,
Dallas?
Benny. Thank you, Benny.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
what it
going to
was.
Dallas. Yeah.
Amazing.
Hey, you're going to Dallas.
Yeah,
Yes,
I'm
yes,
going to
sir.
Yeah,
Dallas.
Amazing.
Dallas party.
I'll definitely have to come say hi.
We keep
I'll
talking to
definitely.
I've got to get a jersey or something for people to sign because I keep talking to people and like every single time we were mentioning barbecue, Benny, like we're gonna go to that place and we're like, yeah, we're gonna get a
Yes.
table for like 8
Terry
people and then it's gonna
Black's
turn
is
into
what it's called.
Ooh.
we're gonna get
Yeah.
like a table for like it's gonna be 8 of us to start and then as we're walking there
Oh,
we're
no,
gonna
it's
see
gonna be
like
bigger
20
than
different
that, maybe.
people. Yeah, it's just gonna continually grow
Yeah.
until we take over the entire restaurant.
Yeah, they have to reserve the whole place for just
Yeah.
the
Are,
CS:GO players.
here's a question: Are you getting a 10-gallon hat while you're down there?
Is that a thing?
Yeah.
It is.
Like
It
a
is a
That's a
10
thing.
gallon
ta-
hat?
Yeah,
it's
it
called
is the thing.
it's a Texas 10
I
gallon
will.
hat.
Oh yeah, the bigger the better, right? The Texas way. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'll definitely get. A 10-gallon hat.
Amazing.
um.
That's gonna be my sun protection for golf. I'm getting a 10-gallon hat, so I don't instead of a hat like you know that they have the floppy hats that are like bigger, so protect you from the sun when you're outdoors. I'm just gonna golf in a giant
Oh my
10-gallon hat.
god.
Well, do you plan on putting anything in the 10-gallon hat?
10 gallons of his brain.
I don't know. I don't know.
10 gallons of.
At the rate I lose golf balls, it'll have to be a golf ball holder. In all honesty,
You're gonna hit it every single time you hit a golf ball. The hat's gonna fly off just because of your
Just take
motion,
another one out
and
of
you're
the
gonna
bin.
get up. And you're like, oh, all the golf balls fell out of my hat again. Like try and stuff
You have
it
to
back.
pick
you
them
should
in.
go.
all
You
back
should
up.
you should get one made out of like nacho chips, like that Simpsons episode
Oh
where he
my
like breaks off
God.
a piece and he puts it in the dip. In the
That's
center
actually
of the
so funny. That would be so funny. Little
But no,
snack.
let's get your thoughts on Dallas. Like, who do you like to win the competition, and also, what do you plan on doing while you're in Dallas?
Well, I would say that I'm going more for like the impact part of it. So,
Yep.
I don't really know if I could speak on like the other side, but at
Who cares?
least with impact, like man, I am so excited to go see some of these girls teams because I'm like a huge fan of Enigma Galaxy. Obviously, I'm going to support NA. Like I'm
Yeah.
going to be there to see what happens there. But I'm super excited to see like a Enigma versus Navi like something like that, because I love the way EU plays just because it's different from here. So I want to see how that translates like in real life, like how they process things when it's on land.
Hmm.
I'm super excited.
Is that your favorite for the land? Is Nigma? You think they're gonna take it?
Honestly, Navi. Navi
Ooh.
javelins.
Oh,
Ooh.
I
okay.
I know
I
Nigma
respect
has
it.
been like they've been like having this streak and like they're like the queens, but just the way Navi plays and they're extremely like coordinated and aggressive and they just I kind of part of me is like, oh, I want to see them do
Yeah,
something.
I like it. I actually think that's a really reasonable pick. And
Yeah.
I'm in the camp where I think this is the land that maybe Nigma doesn't win.
Yeah.
That's a little tease for our primer
And I'm
coming on next
Coming
scared.
week,
up.
Parks.
You're
Okay,
scared? Oh my
Yeah,
I'm
goodness.
I'm
scared.
scared.
Oh,
Like, like we're gonna see like such a big thing because they've taken like 3 already.
4.
Is it 4? So this would be a 5th if they won.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
They can't be stopped. But
No, they can't.
we have a primer coming up for that in a few weeks here, so no worries. We
Yeah.
have a special guest on for that one as well because that's gonna be
Yeah.
exciting.
Ooh.
The days get closer to Dallas. I just get more and more and more excited, and like it's never gonna stop until I actually am about to get on the plane and like throw up or something. So
Yeah.
we'll see what
too.
happens.
I'm going to be so nervous.
This is my
What
first
Watching
for
solo
what?
YouTube.
trip.
Like at the event or like flying
Yeah.
there?
Yeah,
Oh,
there's
yeah.
Oh,
so
no,
many of
not
us gonna
flying
be
there.
there.
Yeah.
Flying there is probably gonna be the nerve-wracking part because I have to cross a border and everything. That's gonna be so
Oh
much
yeah,
fun.
for you.
Okay.
I was gonna say flying's gonna be the easy part. That's
The,
gonna be nice.
the solo flight. This is my first solo flight. So
Oh, okay.
there have
I
been
get why
2
you would
failed
feel.
attempts to Philadelphia at this point.
It
So
it's look, I'm with you. It's gonna be my first solo flight as well, and my first flight since I was 18. I'm 35 now, so that's like 17 years
17
ago.
years,
But
yeah.
yeah, but I made it easy on myself. So
Yeah,
That's good.
Mr. First Class over here.
First class.
yeah, I'm flying
Okay.
first.
You splurred.
Okay.
This is
Look,
Benny's big
listen,
vacation.
You know what?
Yeah,
Treat yourself. You know.
yeah, yeah. I do have one final question, Parks. I don't know if you have any
No, I got
further.
nothing, man. I've been
Okay,
spitballing
so
for
here's
5
a
minutes.
question for you, Yoshiloo. What hair color is next?
Ooh, rough.
I, real quick, some context, right? Because I used to lurk in your streams, and also like I would comment when I could, but
Yes.
usually
Yes.
these days I do a lot of lurking because I'm commentating or whatever. But you had like light brown hair, I want to say it was, right? Or was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the
It's
last time I saw you was you were streaming and you had light brown hair, and then you come on the pod tonight and it's black hair, and it
you
looks really nice. It's been
Thank you.
recently cut, like it's good. But I'm like, okay, what is behind color number 3?
Honestly, I could totally see myself going like pink. That is a route I haven't touched yet, and it is like something I want to commit to.
Do you want a tip?
Yes. Yes. I'll
Okay,
take tips.
go a little bit darker because it
Yes.
fades quick.
Yes.
Oh,
So
it
like
fades.
my
Go
friend,
dark
Okay.
pink and then it'll lighten.
right? So my mate,
Oh.
I don't know if you've seen her or whatnot, but she used to have pink hair. Um,
Okay.
and she posted a pic once. And she was like, "I'm literally lava girl" after she got it,
Oh no.
and it faded. It's like okay, it is pretty heavy, but it fades to a real nice color. So if
Yeah.
you can look up the photos of like Starry Bun when she had the pink hair, this was like maybe 2019ish,
That was a long
and
time
you'll
ago.
see what I'm talking about. Yeah, she hasn't had pink hair for a while, but she get it darker and then it fades into something nice.
Thank you for the
So
tip. I didn't even think about that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
When
Brace
Benny
it,
for
knows more
impact.
about pink hair than you do. Thank you.
It's the
Thank
experience. It's the experience. He's good.
yeah.
you.
Listen, Brace for Impact podcast. We